2020. Where do I even begin? This year truly flew by in the blink of an eye, and yet it also felt like the slowest and blurriest crawl ever. I know it definitely may not have been the easiest year for many of us, but we made it through, and for that, I'm so proud of you. With everything that transpired, it probably seemed as if every step forward was hit with an unexpected twist to it, leaving me feeling a little anxious. But at the same time, this was also the year I got closer to actually understanding what it means to slow down and to choose to adopt an attitude of gratitude for whatever had transpired in my life. To embrace the sentimental side of me, I've decided to highlight some key moments of this year. Going back to the beginning, January started off really great. My best friend Cheryl and I had gotten accepted into the same university in Stockholm, Sweden for an exchange program, and were busy packing 6 months of our lives away into our luggage bags. This exchange meant everything to me. As someone who leads a really busy life, often with a rather fully packed schedule, I was truly looking forward to a time and space of resting, exploring, and getting to know myself better. 2019 in particular had been an especially challenging year for me. And so, to be able to fly 9,604 km away seemed absolutely ideal. If I must be honest, it was one of the few things that really kept me going whenever I felt like giving up. And boy, was exchange the best experience of my life. Stockholm was absolutely beautiful. We met up with our other friends from Singapore and took our time walking down quaint streets, looking out to the sea, and catching glimpses of the rays of sunlight that peek through the clouds on cold winter days. There's just something so freeing about detaching yourself from a place where you're constantly thinking about what's the next thing to do, rushing from meeting to meeting, and planting yourself into a brand new place with new people, cultures, and sounds. A freedom from expectations or commitments. Being the youngest in my family, this felt like the time I would finally be able to grow independently, be more self-aware, experiment with things, be a little bit more daring and decisive. Stepping out into a whole new territory did bring about a ton of growing pains. But the days of settling in were softened through getting to know the most amazing people, lots of chaotic sessions in the kitchen, finding a family in a local church, celebrating birthdays, and seeing snow for the very first time.
Adele, it's snowing, it's snowing, it's snowing, it's snowing. I'm sorry.
Apart from classes, readings, and assignments we had to do, yes, we still studied really hard. My friends and I managed to find some time to go on a trip to Norway and Amsterdam, where we visited a ton of museums, ate some of the best food, and visited some close friends who were on exchange there. One of the best memories I'll always remember from Amsterdam was the night when Cheryl and I decided to make a spontaneous series of decisions, from eating at an all-you-can-eat ribs restaurant in the pouring rain, before making a mad dash to visit a jazz bar near the Bay Area. I'm not kidding when I tell you that this jazz bar brought tears to my eyes. Another highlight of our exchange was our short trip to Abisko, a small village in the north of Sweden. Apart from doing silly challenges, we also got to see the Northern Lights. It was breathtaking, climbing up mountains and standing under a sky filled with stars. I was truly in awe of God's creation, hands down one of the best experiences. Despite these wonderful moments, we were increasingly aware of the growing pandemic, keeping in contact with our families, and paying close attention to the news. It felt as if I was watching the onset of a big tsunami wave crashing toward us, and before I knew it, the tide hit. We were informed that we had to return to Singapore immediately. The struggle of returning home was especially taxing. Apart from rushing to settle my accommodation, classes, and packing, It was extremely difficult to secure any flights. Airlines would constantly cancel on us, even leaving us stranded at the airport, frantically trying to find another flight. With all this squeezed into the span of 2 days, I barely had the time or energy to process or navigate my way through this mentally and emotionally. It was a pity that our exchange had only lasted for 2.5 months. There were still so many places I wanted to visit, so many things I wanted to grow in and to experience. Most importantly, there were so many people I wanted to get to know better, to spend more time with, and to truly love even more deeply. The next few months were a blur. Apart from online learning, there was an overload of information flowing in through the news and social media. My heart was feeling especially heavy about how drastic this pandemic had hit this world. There had also been a few loved ones who had passed on, but because of the restrictions, my family was unable to send them off. I was constantly tired, unmotivated, and feeling down. I definitely didn't have the energy to bounce back into the busy, sociable person I was before. And so, for the sake of my mental well-being, I decided to take a break from social media and focus back on the space of being able to be present, to appreciate the loved ones around me, and to properly process all that had taken place in my own pace. I slowly began picking up some new and old hobbies. My parents and I indulged in a little house garden to make the living space brighter and fresher. I decided to read some new books, learn new pieces on the piano and guitar, exercise, and spend a lot more time with my family and friends. My schedule has started filling up again, and well, life goes on. Through it all, I was reminded of the word God had given me as I embarked into 2020. It was Emmanuel, God with us. And true enough, although my flesh and heart failed, God has been my anchor, and His word in the Bible has refreshed my strength and spirit day by day. I must admit though, there are still sleepless nights, unmotivated days, and burnouts. But I take comfort knowing that I'm not alone in this, that somehow this circumstance has united us all, one way or another. I also acknowledge that there are some who have had it more difficult than me, and I'm indeed thankful for all the opportunities I have and people I'm blessed with. I'm learning to take it easy on myself, to go slow, and to remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is still a step forward nevertheless. That in order to enjoy the mountaintops, you've got to experience the valleys. I'm learning to not base all my happiness on things that I could potentially lose. And lastly, that joy is a choice. A part of me is pretty glad that 2020 has come to an end, but another part of me is also strangely pretty sad. Although painful at times, it definitely brought along some really good memories I wouldn't mind reliving, and I'll always hold close to my heart. And though it's taken me a bunch of months to finally make this video without crying, I feel like editing this is actually a wonderful and pretty cathartic way of finding closure to 2020 and cultivating gratitude for all that had transpired. Likewise, I hope you are able to find certain glimpses of the light in 2020 that can fill you with gratitude and thanksgiving. May you be filled with faith, hope, and love for the new year, regardless of what is to come. Goodbye 2020, hello 2021.